You are basically a changed man.
I am. I pinch myself sometimes, like, geez, we got here.
You still can't believe it, right?
It's an adjustment. I think I told you, I said, there's moments where I have to meditate on the fact that I'm a new person because the old person's still lingering, you know?
Is it hard for you to condition yourself to the new Sash that you became?
I wouldn't say it's hard. It's just a process and I'm enjoying the process. Just being mindful, like daily. Just practicing mindfulness on what's this whole experience about? Who am I? What's my journey been like? What am I doing now? What's my purpose? And acknowledging the old person who had, I guess, the will to get me to this point. You gotta love it all, man.
Love that. Love that. Sash, how you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
Great.
So today I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions regarding your journey. What is the main takeaway that you took from our training?
Man, honestly, there was so much, but if I had to sum it down to just one word, it's structure, right? So before you, I mean, look, I've been training on and off for years, right? I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for many years. I did weights training. But the problem with weights training is it was never consistent. I'd have a good 6 months and I thought, oh, I'm ready for some Jiu-Jitsu now. We'll go and do that. Then we do that until an injury comes along and then I think I look skinny. I'm ready for some weights now. So it's always been like this with me, right? Then, as you know, I had a pretty bad injury and that was a blessing in disguise for so many reasons outside of health. But what it did do was it helped me forget about all my other pastimes and say, listen, this is what we're doing now. Let's focus on bodybuilding. Let's focus on the gym. I'm not distracted by any other sports or activities anymore. So I think that was a big thing, you know, to get me to this point. And then I met you and boom, here we are.
And the structure that you had since then made a big difference,
Yeah.
you think?
Yeah, exactly. So basically, I would go to the gym, you know, without a plan really. Like with you, the workouts were planned a month in advance and we had the app. And I've never trained off an app before. So massive game changer for me because the way I used to do it, it's okay, I feel like chest and triceps today. Boom. Tomorrow, I wouldn't even know what I'm doing till I get to the gym. And then I just feel my way through it. And then with you, we had the app, right? And I saw, okay, from Monday to Sunday, there's 4 workouts. And you took kind of the thinking out of it for me. So you said, okay, Monday, this is what you're doing, Sash. Tuesday, this is what you're doing. So what that did was every muscle group got hit multiple times a week. The exercise selection was on point and I didn't have to think about it. So I'm very visual. So as soon as I saw that, I thought, oh, your life's easy now, Sash. All you have to do is do these workouts. That's it. Don't have to think about it. And that I just loved. And so when you're ticking off the exercises as you go, it's kind of like mini rewards. Boom, we're getting there. Boom, boom. And I got addicted to that. I got addicted to like your workout's now complete when you swipe it.
Feels good.
It just felt so good. And I thought, okay, all you have to do is do it again tomorrow. That's it. Simple.
What about before meeting me? How your diet used to be like?
Yeah, I just never really understood, you know, in such depth what the diet needs to look like. I never understood how to count calories. You know, I never really took much notice of exactly how much protein I'm eating. All of it was just guesswork, you know. I think when I met you, I said, hey, Luigi, I just have no idea how to count calories. It just seems so complicated to me, you know, and I eat out a lot. So you said, listen, I'm going to simplify it for you. I said, okay, cool. And then you really went above and beyond because you didn't just give me the calorie count and the macro count. I said, brother, what does that look like in a meal? And then you spelt it out for me. Said, okay, let's take it back. Breakfast, you're going to have this. Lunch, you're going to have this. And dinner, you're going to have this. And I was like, okay, that I can do.
So it's easier now.
Now it's because then I don't actually have to count the calories. I just made you do it, and then I just have to eat.
It's easy that way. Hey,
like I said, I'm visual. So if you just show me what to eat, I'll eat that.
You do it. But I love that because you had a plan and you stuck to it from day one until today, and it made a huge difference, right?
Huge difference.
When you look back at Sash 6 months ago, how was that Sash feeling?
Well, as you know, I was coming out of knee surgery, right? I remember when I met you, I couldn't even squat. I'm talking like forget weights, just standing. Squat, impossible, right? So I was still quite fresh from the surgery. I couldn't bring my heel to my ass, right? And I couldn't squat. So I could walk. If you looked at me and you saw me walking, I look like a normal guy, right? But as soon as I need to get functional and I start squatting and using my body, that was an issue. So I remember when I met you and I would see you at the gym, if you recall, all I was doing was knee physiotherapy, right? And those were like 2-hour sessions. And you came to me one day and said, "Are you sure you're supposed to be taking that long? It seems long." I said, "I don't know, maybe I'm just taking long, but I'm just following my physio's guide and this shit takes ages." So my first couple of months in the gym, I wasn't even lifting weights. I was just trying to get my knee back on track. And that's been a huge journey. So in my mind, I was like, okay, you're certainly not anywhere near peak shape, but the focus is the knee. Let's get your knee sorted. Soon we're going to get into everything else. So that's where I was at when I met you.
Yeah, I remember. And you've come a long way since then.
Yeah.
Very long way. What made you decide to take this seriously?
So basically, even though I've been in good shape at certain points, I kind of just had to accept the reality that I've never actually achieved like peak shred or the peak physique that I kind of always knew I was capable of. I thought you've got the frame, you've got so many attributes for a great physique, but you just don't seem to unlock the code. And it's just interesting because I had zero plans to sign up with a trainer. You know, that wasn't on my mind. I just thought it's time to, when you're ready, it's time to get to work, right? But I kind of, one of my life philosophies is I just follow good energy, right? And I remember when I met you, your energy was always super positive. And I just remember feeling good after meeting you, like on many occasions. And I just thought, yeah, it's always nice to walk into a place and there's someone smiling, looking at you. You know, I thought that's cool, right? And one day out of nowhere, you messaged me and said, "Hey, can I offer you a free session?" And I was like, okay, cool. You know, I kind of knew where it was going because if you accept a free session, then of course, they want to train you, right? But I'm a salesman myself and I appreciate the hustle, right? So when I see somebody who's good at what they do and they're doing what they're supposed to do and following up on leads, I kind of just respect that because I do it for my business. So I saw you doing it for your business and I thought, listen, he's good. I like him. Let's see what the session's all about. It's free. And still didn't overthink it. So let's just rock up. But in that one session, yeah, I felt the effects of that workout. And I was like, that was powerful, right? And then you basically got me into your web because I thought doing this by myself is not going to be the same, right? And then you didn't even ask me if I wanted to train with you after that. I just said, "Hey, what's the plan? Let's do this," right? And we signed up straight away. So basically, I had submitted to the fact that I don't know everything and I just want to do it properly. So, and I'm ready, So that was it.
Love that. Yeah. Love that. Such a cool story.
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason as well, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So, and everything led to where we are now. And
I
apparently
think so.
We're really happy about this.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you think that all this discipline in the gym helped you with business as well?
Absolutely. Everything kind of translates over, right? So the way that I view looking after, my health is it's a daily practice of strengthening my mind, right? Because sometimes you don't want to train, but you do it anyway. Right? Or sometimes you don't want to eat certain things, but you do it anyway. So the daily discipline, it just translates into every aspect of your life, right? In my business, it's like, okay, who needs to be called today? What needs to happen today? There's zero emotion involved. It's just what needs to happen, what's the pathway, what do I need to do, and who do I need in my team to get it done? So that mindset just translates into everything. It translates to business, how you handle your workouts, your meal prep, and just every aspect of life. Because, running a business is just a constant stream of problems that needs to be solved. And in order to continuously be there to solve these problems, you need to be strong physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So to put it another way, if I take a week off, then I'm not on top of my game. If I take a week off the gym, then my business, I can't give my business all my attention because I'm thinking, you're not looking after your health. Now there's a lack going on. Whereas if I take care of that, I don't have to worry about this anymore. Now the business gets all my attention and I'm physically more capable to deal with problems as they arise and work towards success, you know. So it all translates over.
I love that. So do you think fitness actually affected every other area of your life?
Oh, absolutely. Like, you definitely command a lot more respect. You know, I know a lot of guys train because they want female attention, you know, me included, of course, right? But what's interesting is it's other men respect you too, right? Because there's been many versions of me, you know, small, skinny, chubby, not in great shape, in good shape. There's been many versions, right? And I'm very observant. And I've noticed when I was kind of a meeker version of myself, you just didn't get much respect from other men, or, you know, just in general, you just notice little undertone moments, right?
Why do you think is that?
It's just something about a meekish man that other men don't really respect, and women definitely don't respect. And as someone who's been that person, and now I'm more, you know, I'm someone with more presence, I can just observe, you know, women look at you differently. Other men, they want to talk to you, they're definitely not disrespecting you. And it's interesting. And then, of course, your clients look at you and they see you're healthy, you're intelligent, you've got their best interest at heart, and you're communicating well. Now they want to talk to you, you know. Also picking up new business partners or new referral partners, you know. People are attracted to you now. You're showing just by walking in the room that you're disciplined and you're capable. It's not just that you're disciplined, but you're capable. You're capable of being fit and healthy. That must mean you're capable at other things too. If I look at a guy who's super overweight, and let's say, for example, I need finance, right? And he's a finance broker, but he's like this big. I'm thinking to myself, I wonder how capable you are at this, because you can't look after yourself. So maybe you're not my guy for this.
Absolutely. Do you think a dad bod is a badge of honor, or simply someone not prioritizing their health?
Yeah, it's all about priorities, right? We can all say the usual, which is, oh, look, I'm doing a 9 to 5, I got kids, I got stuff to do. Let's look at it from another perspective. Right now, I've got an uncle overseas who's got stage 4 cancer, and he's a businessman. I can tell you right now, no one in that family is thinking about business. Every bit of their resources is going towards hopefully recovering from this. So when your health is taken away from you, it's a very quick wake-up call that nothing else matters. So prevention is much better than the cure. And like, even now that I've built a physique that I'm proud of, I can't take this for granted. I know now if I take my foot off the gas, it's gone.
It goes away really quick.
Just give me a couple of months to go and eat what I want and not train. It's all over. I came, I saw, and I let it go, all right? Now I know I got to keep turning up. I got to stick to the process, because you've come this far, but I didn't come this far just to come this far, right? So you got to keep going. And I just highly value, being healthy, being strong, understanding that it creates the environment for you to be successful in all areas of life. And it just keeps you away from all the nonsense as well. I really don't go out that much anymore to all the parties, and every now and then for sure, but definitely not a weekly thing for me. It's and it's not that you're trying not to go, you're just not interested, you know. I'm so interested in this healthy lifestyle and being productive with business, spending quality time with friends and things like that, that it just kind of keeps you on the straight and narrow. That's what I enjoy about it. It's not that you are trying not to do certain things, you just lose interest.
You're simply not interested
Just
anymore.
not interested, like,
because you don't see any value
no
from
value
doing
in
those
it.
things, and
Yeah.
they don't make you feel any better.
No.
And once you've been on track for such a long time with your physique, with your health, with your diet, and you just feel a certain way, and that has translated to so many other different areas of your life, you simply don't want to go back to that trash, do you? You still want to, you know, go out every now and then, have a couple of drinks, live your life, you know, and do certain things, but very minimal doses, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. A drink now and then with friends is great, but I'm just thinking of the old me that said, hey, it's Friday, we have to go out, we have to do this. I don't really roll like that anymore, you know?
It doesn't fulfill you anymore, does it?
No, it doesn't. It feels empty. Like, I go out, I'm like, cool. Whilst I'm out and I'm having a good time, but I'm also thinking, what have I got to do tomorrow? You know, my mind, it's always on. Right? What's next? What do I have to do?
Do you think it'd be better sometimes to just be able to switch off and enjoy the moment and be present out whilst having fun? Or
if I'm out and you know, if we're vibing, right? But it's not something I actively seek. You know, I'm so busy. You know, it's much better to chase a life of purpose than a life of happiness, I think, because happiness is such a fleeting, like, emotion, and I'm not really in control of it so much. But with having a purpose, you've just got something to do. And similar to this journey we've just been on, like for me, people look at me sometimes and say, wow, like 11 kilos maybe to a professional, to lose 11 kilos of fat to a professional probably sounds like, oh, I've done that before, that's easy, I know the process, that's cool. But to your average person, that's extreme. For your average Joe Blow to hear that someone lost 11 kilos in 5 months, that's an extreme thing. But for me, what I can tell you was, it was just as simple as a decision. I just decided, this is what we're doing now. And what I loved about signing you up to be my man on this journey was that now there's no guesswork. We've got structure. I know exactly what to do in the gym. I know exactly what to eat. All I have to do now is not give up and just turn up. So it's really just a decision. I made the decision and that was it. So I really think anyone can do it, you know. It's just about, do you have the right team? Do you have the right knowledge? I'm a firm believer that without someone like you to give me the knowledge, because in this process, I did discover that, wow, there's so much I learned. And what I had realized was without this experience with you, there's no way I would have got there by myself. There's so many things that I needed to know and that I didn't know before, that without the knowledge, the changes wouldn't have come. So that's why it's really important to have a power team, right? You need a power team. I always love using Quentin Tarantino as a great example for this, because I'm a huge Tarantino buff, and if you watch all of his movies, he always uses like the same actors. And to me, what I get from that is he's got his power team, right? So with me, I've got my business partners, my referral partners. I know who my people are to go out there and get it, That's my power team. And I'm always looking for people that can expand with, right? And the same thing applies to health. So with us, I'm like, cool, okay, I'm doing this with Luigi. And also what I enjoyed about it was that, there was a financial commitment to this. Because it's not that it was overly expensive or anything like that, but it also wasn't cheap. So, but once I decided, look, I do want this to achieve this goal, and now I'm gonna pay for this, the physical act of transferring the money over, it did something to me mentally. It made me get into the zone of like, okay, you've just paid for this, don't mess around. Get to work. You've just paid for it. I'm not going to pay for this and not do it now, right? So there is something about that. There's something about paying for it and being accountable to someone and having the weekly check-ins. It's truly invaluable. So I don't know why most people don't get a trainer. I mean, it's your health. It's the most important thing, right? If you lose it, you would trade everything you have to get it back. And it's really not that expensive when you look at it, holistically, right? For what you're getting and the investment you're making into yourself. Like, it's all about investing in yourself, right? It's mental. Like, that mental thing of investing in yourself gets you dialed in, gets you in the zone, and you need a power team, simple as that.
That's actually huge, because if you do have a power team, it just makes the whole process a lot quicker, a lot smoother. You don't have to worry about the little details because there's someone else looking after them.
Well, yeah.
And you just need to get to work, really. That's all you need to do. You just need to show up. But showing up 4 times a week in the gym and getting the work in, it's not that hard, is it?
No.
It's something that you used to do before anyway.
Yeah. The biggest change was because it was on the app. Without the app, it would be easier for me to skip a session.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, right? So like before this experience with you, and I'm training by myself, I don't notice the sessions I'm missing because there's no app, it's not on paper, it's all in my head, right? So you just don't notice it. So, when we finished the weight cut and I saw the before and after photos and I decided to share this story on my Instagram, I just realized, like, I put a comment in my post saying I turned up to 98 out of 100 workouts. Now, it's not that I was counting, but the app told me, right? So one day, the app just sent me a notification saying, hey, congratulations. One of the workouts I finished, I swiped it, said, congratulations, you've just finished 100 workouts. And that's how I knew that I've done 100 workouts, because it's tracked. So the power of tracking, it's just so important. Once you start tracking, you realize that without tracking, you're just not going to achieve anywhere near the result.
Not just tracking your trainings, but what you eat and your body weight as well, right?
Yeah, all that was just massive. I remember the first time, as soon as we signed up, you said to me, Sash, today, go buy a scale. Keep it in your bathroom. From now on, you weigh yourself every morning and you put it in the app. It's like, okay, cool. Where do I buy a scale, right? And that became part of my daily process. So what I enjoyed about this process was, for me, all of the unknowns were taken out of the equation. So we were tracking my weight, we were tracking the calories, the macros, we were tracking the workouts. Within the workouts, I'm tracking what I'm lifting. Okay, come next week, can I go a little bit heavier? Am I getting the reps in, or do I need to stay at this weight? So every little thing was tracked, and it was actually quite easier to track than one may think. Once you've got the app and all of the resources, it becomes second nature. So it's really easy to track. It's just having someone to show you how to do it.
Do you think a real game changer for you was having your meals delivered to your door every single morning?
Massive. That's when I noticed, because the first few kilos I lost on my own just by going to cafes every day, right? So I would look at my meal plan and say, I can have 200 grams of this, 300 grams of that, right? Then I'd go to a cafe and I'd order it. And then you're kind of unsure, are they using oil, or what are they doing back there, And then I lost a few kilos. And then if you remember, we'd always get to a certain weight and then I couldn't break it. We were stuck. And then every time I got stuck, you would just say, don't worry, now we're digging, just stick with it. Now you're digging. And that really helped me, because every now and then you need just some mental strength, And I thought, okay, we're digging now, so let's just embrace that. Don't worry, if the scale's not moving, I'm sure it'll move at some point. But then we got on the meal plans. And as soon as we got on the meal plans, man, I think it felt like a kilo was dropping every other week. It felt like, man, this is just consistent now. It really fast-tracked the weight loss journey, the meal plans, and also the convenience of it all. It's cheaper as well. It's cheaper than going out.
And you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Don't have to worry about it. It's just, I don't cook. I don't clean the dishes. I just, turns up to my house, I put it in the fridge, lunch and dinner, sorted. Don't have to think about it.
As easy as that.
So easy, so easy.
Brother, I love that.